Hello and welcome to another edition of Technoholik, where we get you addicted to technology every single week. We have a power-packed show lined up for you this week. Radhika is also back on the show and she'll be getting you all the action from the Consumer Electronics Show 2012. But first things first, let's tell you what our lineup for this week is. On the show this week, we get you a game review for your consoles and PCs. We also get you a review of the new laptop offering from the house of HP. But first up, we give you a preview of CES 2012. Alright, so that's our lineup on the show, so let's get started. Now, as usual, loads of new technology and gadgets were showcased at the Consumer Electronics Show 2012. And last week, we told you that Radhika is in the middle of all that gadget action. And this week, she's back on the show and gets us all the lowdown from the Consumer Electronics Show 2012 straight from Las Vegas.
Yep, Siddharth, it's that time of the year where we check into the biggest technology convention. This is the Consumer Electronics Show 2012, straight from Las Vegas. Now, you remember the last time we went to CES, there was only Android tablets, 50 to 60 of them at least on one stage, and 3D was all that we were talking about. But this time around, the theme of CES seems to be only one thing. Actually, a couple more than them. But the biggest theme on CES is that Ultrabooks, and even more Ultrabooks. Now, let me tell you what an Ultrabook is actually. It's actually one between a netbook and a full-fledged laptop, but runs on much less processing power while giving the same amount of output. So this runs on Intel CULV processors, and they're new processors that we're also seeing over here. That's Ivy Bridge and a couple of more of them. So laptops, Ultrabooks, and Ultrabooks from every single manufacturer. There's LG, there's Samsung, there's Toshiba. Everybody's jumping onto the Ultrabook bandwagon.
Yes, at this year's CES, these MacBook Air alikes were everywhere. So let's tell you what all Ultrabooks were on display at the CES 2012. First was the Samsung Series 5 Ultrabook. Packing an Intel Core i5 processor, the Samsung Series 5 Ultra is a small but perfectly formed Ultrabook. Available in 14-inch or 13-inch models, the 13-incher is 17.6mm at its fattest point, narrowing down to 14mm. It comes with a 128 to 500 GB hard drive and incorporates an LED super bright screen. Next comes the HP Envy Spectre. This Ultrabook is a little bigger than your average Ultrabook and a little fatter too. With a Core i5 or i7 processor and 128 GB of hard disk inside, HP claims a 9-hour battery life on the Spectre, and that's really the only appeal about it. Third comes the Toshiba Protege Z835. This is one gorgeous looking Ultrabook from Toshiba. It sports second generation Intel CPU ranging from i3 all the way up to i7. It's also very thin at 15.9mm but solid because of its magnesium alloy exoskeleton. And the last Ultrabook that grabbed some eyeballs at the CES this year was the Lenovo IdeaPad Yoga. The 360-degree hinge on this computer allows you to flip and fold to be used as a notebook, a tablet, or in a tent card display mode. No wonder they gave it the name Yoga given its flexibility. But Ultrabooks weren't the only gadgets that made news at the CES. There were also some other interesting gadgets as well, like the new Samsung Wi-Fi camera. And Radhika had a good look at it.
Alright, let's face it, we live a dual life when it comes to cameras. We love our phone cameras because we love to live the social media life, and also love our point and shoots because they are the perfect cameras to carry on vacations. Now, the reason we like our phone cameras so much is because we love to put them up on Facebook, Twitter, get the comments flowing, get the tweets flowing, and live the social media life as we speak. But how do you transfer the photographs from cameras like these, that's the point and shoot, onto the internet? Now, the Samsung smart camera, that's the WB150F, seems to have solved that problem. Now, let's give you the specs first. This is a 14.2 megapixel camera which can do 18x optical zoom, has a 24mm wide angle lens, has a 3-inch LCD right at the back, which is not a touch LCD, and can do panoramic shots. Everything is fine, and the weight is very, very light too. Now, the cool feature in this camera is this. There's a Wi-Fi mode that you can use. And these are the options in the Wi-Fi mode. You can prefer to email the picture to yourself or do something called the mobile link, which will transfer the photographs from the camera onto your phone, and also do an auto backup, and also use a TV link which basically connects the camera to the TV, and you can watch the pictures in full-blown glory without having to connect any cable. Alright, so let's test out the MobiLink feature, which is basically transferring the photographs from this camera right onto the Samsung Galaxy S2 that we have right here. So let's do a small demonstration. All I have to do is first go on to a normal picture mode. I am going to put this in camera. Choose, let's say, I'm going to do a magic frame. I'm in a happy mood. Okay. There's my photograph. Alright, so we've got the photograph. Now we need to transfer them on this phone. All I have to do is transfer it back to the Wi-Fi mode right here. Choose the MobiLink. Alright, so now we've got the phone and the camera linked up. All I need to do is choose OK right here. I should see the pictures coming up on the phone. There you go. All the pictures that have been clicked have shown up on the phone. All I need to do is select the one that I did. And there's the picture that I took. So all I had to do was put on the Wi-Fi mode in the camera and transfer it back to the phone. Now, since you can also share with this on Facebook and also email it to yourself, well, the age for the camera to become even more smarter is definitely here. This is the WB150F from Samsung, and by the looks of it, this camera definitely needs a second look.
And finally, how can we forget smartphones? CES gets you all the latest smartphones to look out for throughout the year, and this year was no different. So let's tell you what all phones rocked the world at CES. First was the Motorola Droid 4, which is the latest in the Motorola's Droid series. It runs on a 1.2 GHz dual-core processor and Android 2.3 Gingerbread operating system. It also has an 8-megapixel camera with 1080p HD video recording capabilities and a physical QWERTY keyboard. Second smartphone was also from Motorola, and it's the Motorola Razr Max. It boasts of the biggest battery ever squeezed into a smartphone. Motorola promises that the 33 mAh mega battery will deliver 21 hours of talk time and 380 hours of standby time. In terms of specs, it's similar to the Motorola Droid 4. Third on the list is the Intel Lenovo K800. Featuring the low-power Intel Atom Z2460 with hyper-threading technology and support for HSPA+, the K800 packs a 4.5-inch 720p display and Android 4.0. The phone will be initially available in China, but no word announced on its international release dates. And finally, there were two Sony phones, the Xperia S and the Xperia Iron. Radhika was caught playing with the phone, so let's see what she had to say about them.
Alright, it's phone time on the show, and with me are the Sony phones. This is the Xperia S and this is the Xperia Ion. Now, both phones haven't been released in India yet. So let's look at the Xperia S first. In terms of specs, this has a 1.5 GHz dual-core processor. Also, this is a 4.3-inch HD screen with a 12-megapixel camera right at the back, which is 1080p video capable, and also a 1.3-megapixel camera in the front, which can do 720p HD video. Now, it's a very nice-looking design of the phone, and it's also very, very light. But if you see right here, you can find a transparent block, which is not actually just set for design, but this is where the antenna is placed. So if you turn the phone at a slight angle, you'll actually see the grid in which the antenna is placed. But also, one of the good things about this phone is that it's got a fantastic response time on the camera. So if you're the ones who wants to just click and upload as soon as you want, well, the camera response time is actually less than a second, so you'll have plenty of photos to put on Facebook. But the Xperia S, you have to remember, is only available in a 32 GB storage mode. So there's no 16 GB, there's nothing less than that, and there's no SD card slot either, which means you can't expand the memory. This is the Xperia Ion. Now it's got a bigger screen than the Xperia S. This has a 4.5-inch screen and this is a full touchscreen device and there's no glass display here. Also, if you see right at the back, it's got the same specs. This is a 12-megapixel camera which can do 1080p, and also in the front, which is a 1.3 megapixel. Also the kind of same specs, which has a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core processor, the same camera, but this is available in 16 GB and also has a micro SD card slot. So if you're someone who does not want to expand the storage, that's the Xperia S for you. And if you want more storage, 16 GB is not enough for you, then the SD card is here on this phone altogether. Both phones haven't been launched in India yet. We have no idea of the prices. But if there are plenty of Sony Ericsson fans, throw away your Arcs, throw away all the other phones. The new kids are here on the block. This is the Xperia Ion and this is the Xperia S.
Superphones are definitely going to rule the world of technology in the year 2012. CES was just a sneak peek on what lies on the road ahead. Well, that's not all. Next week on the show, we get you a full CES special. So don't forget to tune in. And with that, it's time for a first break on the show. But coming up on the other side, we get you a review of the latest laptop offering from the house of HP and also a cool accessory to die for.